Claudio Cattaneo holds a PhD in environmental science from Universitat Autonoma Barcelona on the ecological economics of Barcelona squatters. He is a member of Research and Degrowth and participates in the coordination of the Masters in Political Ecology, Degrowth and Environmental Justice, and the online Master on Degrowth and Policy.
Bueno,
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time, Claudio.
it's
How
a
are you
pleasure
doing?
to see you again here in Barcelona.
Yeah, nice. Maybe a little bit of context. I joined your summer school in this summer at the Universitat Autonoma de Barcelona about circular economy and degrowth. And I'm in Barcelona for a few days and I thought it would be interesting to talk to you. So thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure.
Maybe we can start off a little bit with your background, where you're from, what made you come to Barcelona, and what your field of study and research is.
Yeah, so my background is trained in Italy in mainstream economics, but I already knew from the beginning that there is something else that should be added into the economics equation. Mm-hmm. I had a passion already for different worldviews. I thought maybe economic anthropology could be a line of study. And then I saw there was ecological economics, and I was actually impressed when I traveled to Australia about the power of nature.
Yeah.
That was what convinced me that ecological economics could be the way. And I also understood, like there was environmental economics, that was not enough. I was like more of the same. And so I first went to Edinburgh to do the Masters in Ecological Economics, which one of the first worldwide.
Yes.
And then I knew that Barcelona had a kind of more ecology-oriented approach to ecological economics. And so I dreamt of, after the Master in Edinburgh, coming to do my PhD in Barcelona. And it happened. So I moved here 21 years ago.
Amazing. And what was your topic for the PhD? What was your research question?
So at the beginning, I was not much sure what to do about. And since by chance it happened that I moved into an eco community, also a squatted place, and Barcelona has a very big squatters movement, I noticed that living this squatted eco community was putting into practice the theory of ecological economics and political ecology. And so I thought, okay, why not make a PhD out of what I see as direct involved. So it's about the ecological economics of urban squatters.
Yeah.
Also with a focus on neo-rural and out of the city squatting.
And so you did your PhD at Universitat Autonoma Barcelona.
Yes.
And now you're teaching there.
Yes, not anymore. I've been fired by the fuckers, but you can keep fuckers in the podcast. Yeah. But I am still working with the masters because it's an autonomous master connected to the university, but it's run with mainly people from Research and Degrowth, which is the group where I participate.
So the summer school will also not happen anymore this next summer?
I asked a colleague of mine if he could be the one leading it.
Yeah.
He could give 1 or 2 classes, but I haven't heard back.
Okay, that's unfortunate to hear. And if you want to share a little bit about Barcelona and its role in degrowth, because, for example, Jason Hickel is also connected to UAB.
I would say it is the main one. Maybe not the central, because I think there is more of a kind of polycentric situation where many other schools are coming up.
Yeah.
But yes, it's very attractive, and that is why we already had Giorgos Kallis joining in. And Joan Martinez Salier said in one of his memoirs, he told Giorgos Kallis, you should go for degrowth. And Giorgos is like a biologist and we're doing marine water issues, and okay, let's go into degrowth. And he's like a very bright intellectual, and so we started to move around. Also, Francois Schneider, more of an activist of the Decroissance movement, came to Barcelona in 2008 when also Giorgos came. And we already had ICTA with a very strong bunch of PhD students or also master students in ecological economics interested in something more political.
Yeah.
So this is how we all came together to organize this conference, which was the second after the Paris one. We had it in Barcelona, and we also pushed a lot for the academization of what was until then an activist movement.
Yeah.
So you have this nice spirit of degrowth, which is already academic, but joining quite well together with activists and practitioners. It's because we already had in Barcelona a very strong ecological economic school with this political element already strong. Then it was not difficult to make the next step and join into Degrowth and Environmental Justice.
I see. How is your relationship with the more conventional economics department in the UAB?
No, there is no communication. There is no communication. And that is also why ICTA is there. No? It's kind of, an institute which is maybe more related to geography, to environmental sciences in general, and very little with economics, because the economists are those who really can't talk to others.
Yeah, and if you could just share a little bit of the basics of degrowth, and so your work in the summer school that I participated in, how you approach learning about degrowth, because maybe for the listeners, the school was consisted of quite a lot of field trips, so it was lectures, but also a lot of discussion and actually going out and seeing projects that are already happening. So if you would like to share a little bit of the basics of degrowth.
Yeah, so the idea of degrowth, I would say, is multifaceted, content-wise, and I would say process-wise or methodology-wise when you're talking about how to teach degrowth. So the contents are mainly related to the biophysical limits to growth, and it has also a very strong social dimension, and also very strong, let's say, human, anthropological, cultural dimension. So it's not simply the idea of consuming less to be, let's say, sustainable and find green technology that will save the planet, but it's more about also what we're looking for, what do we need for life, what do we consider as a nice life, or also what are the real values that we have. It's like consuming more and more, even if sustainable. So the growth goes a little bit beyond the traditional biophysical approach, and try to touch also more a subjective dimension, which might even imply what type of lifestyle do we want to have. Kind of consumer preferences. They say marketing people are sovereign, so you shouldn't discuss what they want, you should satisfy them. No, they're not sovereign. We should really consume less and try to find a way to live decent life with little amount of consumption. And about the process of who are the degrowth actors, how do we teach degrowth? We are very much into joining the practice with the theory. So it's not simply a classroom exercise. No? It's very important to see what degrowth can mean. Of course, we can offer some examples which are very concrete, which refer to small experiments like the one we did in the summer school, which actually repeats some of the ones that I'm doing in the masters. And other teachers also do many field trips in the masters. And so we would like to show at least this element, which is a more tangible, concrete, small scale, which of course doesn't mean degrowth is only this. No, there is also, let's say, maybe a mutual aid, anarchist-based collaboration that you don't see in a tangible project, but perhaps more of a network of support. And then, of course, there is all the policymakers connection, no, and try to influence. That is why, for instance, there was this conference in the European Parliament in May, try to bring the debate at the highest institutional level we can in Europe.
And if you would like to connect also degrowth to where we are right now, would you like to say a little bit about the location we're at?
Yeah, this is one of the examples. That is why after is the class, and I think you also came here. For me here is to show this central neighborhood of Barcelona, like Gracia district. It's called Montcada, the local neighborhood, and for me it's like a social ecosystem because there are several initiatives that come from the grassroots, from neighbors movement, and they want to at the same time create social cohesion while also stopping this gentrified process, which is also fomenting inequalities because most of it is owned by one real estate speculator. And so in the meanwhile of this social or urban transformation that is going on, there is a strong movement of resistance to say, okay, we don't want this transformation. We want to keep it as it is, even if there is only little left. And so in the ruins of what has been taken down, because next there will be new posh buildings like some that we already see, there is this movement say, okay, we stay here and we want to stop it for as long as we can.
What kind of role do you see degrowth playing in the future? And also in your concrete work, what aspirations do you have the future of your work and for?
So for the future of degrowth, I see it will become more and more mainstream, and there will be a sort of moment, I think, where different wings of degrowth will come out. No, it's a bit like being left wing or right wing. At the moment, everybody is pro-growth, but it could be more left wing or more right wing. So I guess there will be a moment where there will be also pro-degrowth people, and I will not be surprised that there will be right-wing pro-degrowth. There is already, actually. The Nouvelle Droite in France, Alain de Benoist, is like a pro-degrowth. They're very associated to the right wing. There is also blurring, I would say, of the left wing and the right wing. So I think there is also a dimension where degrowth will kind of perhaps be like a debate between those who think the change should happen via state institutions or give priority to convince policymakers with the scale of new policies they can reach, but also the limited transformation it can take when it's a policymaker implementing it, and we see how slow they are at the moment. I don't think they will get any speed, and even if they embrace degrowth, they will embrace it very slowly. And so there will be a tension also with, let's say, more the self-organized grassroots anarchist movement, which sees degrowth as an alternative for inspiring change without waiting for the policymakers to make it.
Yeah. And maybe as a last question, would you like to share anything as an end note?
I mean, sur l'UAB, you have ICTA, that's good. And you have department politics, and that's... Talking to a lawyer, he told me you cannot enter into university autonomy. I mean, it's good that universities are autonomous. Unfortunately, the wrong people has the power in my former department. And so that's the situation. Training can happen also outside the university, and that is why also with the Research and Degrowth, for instance, we want to foment this master, or also perhaps starting to offer, well, we already do the summer school, not via UAB, our own summer school. The important thing is that people can be trained in degrowth and get close to degrowth and see what it is and brief it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for taking the time. It was a real pleasure.
A pleasure to me.